RWWA becomes the last of the 16 in. About to break. Light flashing. Now they're having a look across towards one near the outside. Plenty of attention and onlookers there. Michael Vickers running back around behind the gates again. And they're satisfied with what they've seen. There they go, they're off. And the Great Hoya bounced actually first, and Saul OK jumped quickly. Forever Classic, Bleecker Street coming across. Driving Fort Angels, My Name as well. Hymns of Elodie is going to be prominent, settling down. Then going forward around them, Yelling Up Girl, Banks Avenue, pushing up better than midfield early from our Nemesis. A length and a half, Vital Gem, Buckets Ridge, and then came Tizzle Top, Lord Augustus, Charming Bell. Snips Rock behind those, and last of all is What About Moi, leaving the back on the top of the track at the 900 mark, and the leader is the Great Hoya by a length on Bleecker Street. Angels, My Name around the outside of those, covering additional ground. They're being followed back on the rails by Saul OK. Yelling Up Girl also tramping deep. In the middle next of all is Forever Classic, being followed by Hymns of Elodie, who found her back to follow three deep. Back on the inside, Banks Avenue. Our Nemesis just in behind those in the middle, and then came after a length Vital Gem, Buckets Ridge back there, Tizzle Top, Snips Rock behind them, Charming Bell, Lord Augustus, and What About Moi. They went past the 300. Bleecker Street ranged up to the Great Hoya. The Great Hoya, Bleecker Street, a toe-to-toe. Forever Classic 2 lengths behind them. Banks Avenue, Our Nemesis is running on strongly. It's Bleecker Street. Can she do it again? Maddie Derrick takes Our Nemesis to the lead, and she's got another one. There's 5 out of 7 for Maddie Derrick. It's a remarkable day in the saddle. On the inside, Saul OK dived through to join Bleecker Street for second. The Great Hoya, Snips Rock, then Banks Avenue, Charming Bell, Forever Classic, followed by Tizzle Top, Buckets Ridge, Vital Gem, Hymns of Elodie, then Yelling Up Girl, What About Moi, Angels, My Name, and Lord Augustus. And the day just keeps getting better for Maddie Derrick. And this one at big odds. She has ridden 5 of the 7 winners this afternoon in a remarkable performance. Not since Jade McNaught booted 5 home here quite some years ago have we seen a performance like this afternoon. Maddie Derrick has been on fire and gets home on Dave Hopperton's Our Nemesis. Always had it tracking up beautifully in the run, and it presented at the right time, grabbing hold of Bleecker Street. Here are the numbers there. Final race for the day. The interim placings are 3, Our Nemesis. 9, Saul OK gets second, Chris Parnham. 4, Bleecker Street third, Braden Garth. And 8, the Great Hoya fourth. 1 length. The winning margin, a long head second and third, and the times 1:24, 1, 6:35, 2:9, the final 600 metres. Well, it has been a day that we'll never forget, really, for Maddie. She's a hard worker, came back from New South Wales after a stint. She always looked as though she had a lovely book of rides this afternoon, but she's probably exceeded all expectations. Not only did she ride 5 winners, but she also finished second on Royal Toronado, a huge performance back earlier on in the opening event on the program. And you can see the great satisfaction that she's gained out of that with a little fist pump going past the line there. And why wouldn't she be able to do that? Because it's been a performance of absolute brilliance this afternoon. And I'm sure that she'll be grinning like a Cheshire cat as she comes back in and makes her way to the winning enclosure once again. Well, Lockie Taylor's going to greet her along also with Scotty Embry, and absolutely kudos to Maddie there on what has been her best day in the saddle by an absolute mile, boys.
Thanks, Darren. I'm now joined by a winning trainer in Dave Hopperton after the win of Our Nemesis. Dave, this horse, he's mixed his form. Have you been able to put it down to any 1 or 2 reason?
Yeah, I think mainly it's been at Bunbury where he's failed, and the track is extremely hard. And we've got a bothersome little joint that we're dealing with. And I think because of the hard track, it's stopping him because he went to Pinjarra, off the track, bolted in, and off the track here today.
On his day and when he's right, he looks like a horse that well and truly has above average ability and looks likely to really go through his grades now.
Yep, oh, for sure. Yeah, he is certainly an up-and-comer.
Now, as a trainer, legging up a jockey like Maddie Derrick when she's already won 4 on today's program, what were your discussions like with Maddie pre-race?
Well, the first thing I asked her, could she ride 5?
And what did she say?
She said, I'll be trying very hard to.
And that's exactly what she did. At what stage did your confidence grow? He was in between horses in what was a muddling run race. When did your confidence grow that he was really going to let down?
Well, he was travelling very well. When he's having problems on the hard track, he tends to bob his head and travel a bit rough. Today he looked as smooth as, so I've heard he was a fair chance virtually from midfield on.
Now his stablemate played ice. She's a really impressive filly. How did she come through that Breeders' Classic 4th, I believe it was? Where could we see her next, or is she out in the paddock?
She's out in the paddock, and so's this bloke after this run, so they'll have a little break and bring him back a bit later on.
Well-deserved break, and you're doing a great job with a small team. Well done.
No worries, thanks for that.
There's Dave Hopperton, and after the win of our Nemesis, Scott, and a really good insight in regards to this horse. Perhaps just needs the sting out of the ground. He's going to enjoy a break, and perhaps when he comes back next campaign, he's going to really go through his grades here at Belmont Park.
Well, that was the quirky part looking at the form, wasn't it, Lockie? 2 of his last 3, he was beaten the exact same margin, 10.4 lengths, and in between those, either side, he was victorious. So he's now won 3 out of his last 5, and his other 2 runs have been, well, now explained. They were at Bunbury, and for whatever reason, he's just not a happy hunting ground for him. But Maddie Derrick kicks home the 5th winner today, and a full handful for her on only a 7-race midweek program. Very, very impressive day for Maddie. She's just going to come down and full of smiles, as you would imagine, have a chat to us after our Nemesis. Maddie, after Snazzler with 4, did you think that was it?
Look, I thought this horse would either run a big race or not, but he's run a huge race. He's had to sit back. He's got into a bit of traffic and been bustled around a bit, and when the door opened, he took it. So I was very happy with his run.
It's probably surprising. You're a bit of a form student yourself. You probably didn't expect to be that far back.
No, I knew there was a fair bit of speed in it, but I just came out neutral. I didn't want him to over-race too much. Obviously, we copped a few bumps here and there, which fired him up, but he handled it all pretty well.
We talked about 4 being top few moments for you. Now that it's 5, is it number 1?
Definitely.
Congratulations, Maddie. Well done. It was a pleasure for all of us to watch you to go about your business today. Well done.
Thank you very much.
There's Maddie Derrick. What a day it has been for her. 5 winners on today's 7-race program here at Belmont Park. That's all we have time for. We'll be back at Bunbury on Saturday afternoon for Saturday's Cyril Flower meeting. For now, it's good night, and our Sky Thoroughbred Central audience is now off to the first at Happy Valley.